Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Morning,
sir.
sir.
Okay, as decided, today we begin with a new chapter, and that is analysis of financial statements. Now, financial statements means what? Firstly, understand that you have been preparing from the 11th standard. Okay, in the 11th also you prepared, and now in the beginning of 12th standard also you prepared financial statements. And when we talk about this word, it means basically two things. One is your profit and loss account, and along with that, you used to prepare a balance sheet. These two are mainly called as financial statements. Along with that, there are few other statements like cash flow statements, which you are going to study further in this chapter. There is cash flow statements also to be prepared. That also is known as financial statements. What is the topic though? It is analysis of those statements. So basically, up to now, you are only preparing those statements. But if you want to get some useful information out of those statements, for example, you are an investor, okay, and you want to invest in a particular company, what you will do is pick up the financial statements and do a detailed analysis that whether this company or this organization is doing well, is it earning good amount of profits, okay, compared to last year, what was the growth this year. All of that is meant by the term analysis. Okay, detailed study to get more useful information out of your financial statements. So as usual, when you are preparing balance sheet and P&L, used to take the figures from the question and prepare according to the accounting knowledge that you have gained over the past 2 years. Okay, but now financial statement preparation is easy. What we have to study is how to get meaningful information out of that. That is meant by the term analysis. Now, multiple ways of analysis are there. Okay, we are going to see this chapter is divided into multiple parts. Further, 3 or 4 parts are there here. Okay, but to start that analysis, firstly, what you have to do is prepare your financial statements in a form where you can do such analysis. Okay, and for that, slightly the balance sheet and P&L which you have been studying is going to change. Not the knowledge used to prepare is going to be the same. It's only the way of presentation of both these statements is going to change slightly. And what you are going to study here is actually in reality what happens in the outside world also. Okay, how companies prepare, the same way you are going to prepare the balance sheet. How they prepare the P&L, same way you are going to be preparing the P&L account. And that's why this topic is a little more important. Not very difficult. If you understand properly, you will this topic you will find easy. So to begin with, what we are going to do is first see what is that small change to be done while preparation of balance sheet. Today, we talk only about the balance sheet. Now, in 11th and in 12th final accounts, this chapter was there last year also, this year also. When you prepared a balance sheet, it was always prepared in a particular way. Don't write anything, just pay attention. This is your balance sheet. Always on the left hand side, you had liabilities, and on the right hand side, obviously, assets. This was the way you prepared last year as well as this year. And under liabilities, always the first head is capital. Okay, very quickly, I'm going to write a few liabilities and a few assets here for understanding purpose. Let's start with the asset side. You had all your land and building, plant and machinery. Can you name a few more assets?
Furniture.
Furniture was there, yes. Yeah, go on.
Debtors,
Debtors, okay. Debtors, bills received.
Cash.
Yes, cash is there, correct. And cash,
bank,
correct. Cash in hand and cash at bank. Both are assets, yes. You also had investments. Okay. That's enough for the asset side. On the liability side, after capital, you had certain other liabilities. For example, bank loan was there. Yeah, tell me a few liabilities.
Creditors.
Very good. Creditors is there. Then
Bills
Bills
payable.
payable.
along with that, bills payable. That's right. Any more?
Bank overdraft.
Bank overdraft. Very good.
Loan.
Yeah, loan I have written on top. Bank loan. And there was one item that is outstanding expenses is a liability, and the opposite of that is prepaid expense, which is an asset. Okay. More or less, this was the balance sheet. Of course, there are a few items to be added. Under capital, what you used to do is close your profit and loss account and add net profit or net loss, whatever you had was added under capital. And then you take the figure in the outer column. Okay. This is how you prepare the balance sheet. Now for analysis, this balance sheet is changed slightly so that understanding becomes a little better. And in fact, for companies, this format is not allowed at all. This is known as the horizontal format. Why horizontal? Because liabilities and assets are written side by side. Okay, it is the horizontal format. But for companies, they have to compulsory prepare in the vertical form. And what is the vertical form? That means your liabilities are going to be on top and assets are going to be at the bottom. So if I have to draw, it will be a very simple format. Okay, there will be two columns. As usual, inner column and outer column. You will have your liabilities starting on top. Write all of the liabilities one below the other. And then you will have your assets. Write all of them one below the other. And that's how you will tally your balance sheet this way. This is known as the vertical format. Okay, liabilities, assets written one below the other. And compulsory, your companies in India have to prepare this type of balance sheet. This is known as the vertical form. It's given there in your book. We are going to read very quickly how it is to be prepared. And then actually we will take up a question and prepare this vertical format. Now what happens in this is, instead of the word liabilities and assets, they have given a different name. Okay, liabilities, this heading, now in the vertical format is known as sources of funds. And your asset side is known as application of funds. And it makes sense also. Pay attention. Sources of funds means all those places from where you gather money for your business. And if you look at the liability side, you will see that yes, capital, the owner has brought money for the business. Bank loan means you are taking money from the bank again for your business. Same way, bank overdraft or creditors, they are giving you assistance. They are giving you money so that you can run your business. All those places from where you get your money, those are known as sources of funds. Those are your sources of collecting money for the business. Now, once you have collected money, where all did you spend that money is known as application of funds. Yes, you used to purchase some assets. You used to purchase some stock. Okay, all of that is on your asset side. Where all did you use your money? That is known as application of funds. So the name in the vertical format changes. Instead of calling it the liability side, now we are going to be calling it sources of funds. And same on the asset side, use the word application of funds. This is how you will see balance sheets being prepared in the companies. And for our analysis, which we are going to study later, this format becomes very convenient. There is no difference at all. What you wrote on the liability side there, same thing you have to write here. One below the other. That's the only difference. Liabilities on top, assets below. Okay. Same thing is going to happen also in the profit and loss account. But today we are not going to discuss that profit and loss account. That we will take in the next class. But today all focus only on the balance sheet. This was one important discussion. This is known as the vertical format. Okay. Then one small change is there. And for that, I need your attention here. If you see, I have left a line on the asset side, and even on the liability side below bank loan, I have left a line. There is a reason for that. Okay. Assets are classified into two parts. The top set, okay, that you see is known as fixed assets. What are fixed assets? Those assets which are going to remain in your business for a long time, okay, more than 1 year. So it can be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. That asset is going to be there almost permanently with you. Those are known as fixed assets. But all other assets where you have regular business dealings constantly happening, those are known as current assets. So that's why I had made a difference. To note the difference, I had left a line there. The below few assets are known as current assets. Why? Because they constantly change. Constantly. It does not happen that every day you are buying land and building. In a business, when you start, is it possible that every day, 365 days of the year, you are every day buying and selling land and building? No, that is not your business. Your business may be manufacturing of goods. Then in that case, whatever your stock is there, that is going to change every day. Stock is an asset that is going to change every day. Debtors are your customers. With them you deal on a daily basis. So that amount is going to change. Of course, cash in hand and cash at bank constantly is changing. Money is coming in, money is going out. That is constantly changing. When change occurs due to regular business dealings, those assets are known as current assets. The word itself tells you current means every day those assets are changing, and fixed means almost permanent in nature. They change once in a while, once in 5 years, 10 years. Those assets are known as fixed assets. And same thing is there also on the liability side. Of course, capital is completely different. That is the owner's money. Okay, capital and whatever profit is earned belongs to the owner. So that is separate. Then you have your long-term liabilities. Which is a long-term liability? In this case, only one example I have taken here. That is bank loan. Okay, this is a long-term liability. Why long-term? Because bank loan generally taken for a period of more than 1 year. Okay, you know that business is going to require a lot of funds, and you have gone to the bank. You take a loan and you say that this loan is going to be paid after 5 years or 10 years. So that is a long period of time. That liability is going to be there for more than 1 year with you. It is known as a long-term liability. But what about the other four that are listed below? Again, same thing. They are the opposite of current assets, known as current liabilities. Why current liabilities? Again, because of your daily business activities, these liabilities are going to be changing constantly, almost on an everyday basis. Creditors are your suppliers from whom you purchase goods, okay, purchase raw material. Then in that case, every day, almost every day, transactions are happening between them. Creditors amount is bound to change constantly. Same is the case with bills payable. Bank overdraft also. Now there's a difference. Bank loan is also borrowing, and bank overdraft also is borrowing. But remember one thing, generally loan is taken for a longer period of time, like 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. But bank overdraft is generally for a short period of time. Okay, it's generally 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. That is the duration of bank overdraft, not more than that. That's why it comes under the head of current liabilities. Anything less than 1 year, if it is there in your balance sheet, then that comes as current asset and current liabilities. Same is with outstanding expense and prepaid expense. Okay, short period of time that expense remains outstanding. The moment you pay it, that outstanding expense is gone. Those are current liabilities. So there's an important discussion later in this chapter for which you need to know the difference, that only liabilities and assets understanding is not enough. There is a breakup between that also. On the asset side, mainly there is only two things. One is fixed asset, current asset. But on the liability side, yes, you have firstly capital, then you have all your long-term liabilities, and then you have current liabilities. That is how the balance sheet is broken down, again, to get more useful information. Okay, as an investor, when you look at somebody's balance sheet, now clearly once you have this differentiation, you know that okay, these are the fixed assets, they are going to remain for a long period of time. These are current assets, they are going to change every day. So what is the value of that change? To know all of this, this differentiation becomes very important. But this I have shown you in the horizontal format. This is not to be prepared by you. In this chapter, we are using the vertical format, but that does not change anything. You will continue to do the same thing. What items you have seen here, that you continue to do in your vertical format as well. So under your liability side, okay, which is now known as sources of funds. From where all do you get money for your business? One is it comes from the owner himself, known as owner's funds. So the first head that you will see is owner's funds, which is nothing but the capital. Still don't write anything, students. We are going to see the format in a different way later on, which is printed and given. But for understanding, just pay attention. Owner's funds, that is your capital. Then we had added net profit in capital. Here that has to be written separately, and that is under the head of reserves and surplus, which means nothing but whatever profit you have earned in this year or in the last year or all in the years previous. Okay, since you have started your business, it has been collected and kept under this head of reserves and surplus, and you have all your profits included here. Okay, then comes the next item. What do you see here? Bank loan. Bank loan also will be written, but that is known as borrowings. Why? Because you have borrowed money. One is your own money, known as owner's funds, and one is borrowed money. Okay, in this case it is bank loan, known as borrowings. Okay, or borrowed funds, that will be written here. Then moving on to the asset side, I'm not taking current assets and current liabilities at all as of now. Okay, I have written this much, which has come from the horizontal balance sheet. Now, under the asset side, what do you have? Firstly, your land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, all of them I told you are known as fixed assets. That will be there. Then excess money, if you have invested, like invested in shares or bonds or debentures or any other thing, wherever you have made an investment, separately write that. Investments, also an asset. Okay, that forms part of your asset side. Now, if you see, there is one thing that is not written, and that is current liabilities and current assets. In the vertical format, current assets and current liabilities are to be written on the same side. Now, same side, how will you write? What you have to do is take the asset side and first write all your current assets. Okay. But current liabilities also has to be written along with current assets. But current liabilities is part of liabilities, which should have come under borrowings, current liabilities. But I did not write it there. This current liabilities, if you want to write it along with current assets, you can do that. Move it from the liability side, bring it on the asset side. But what will happen is the moment you change the side, even the sign along with it should change. So current liabilities originally belonging to the liability side is brought on the asset side, but you will put a minus sign and then write current liabilities. Is it allowed? Yes, your balance sheet will still tally. What you had written on the liability side, you are removing it from there and taking it on the opposite side, then immediately change the sign. Right? Current assets minus current liabilities. This is the way it has to be presented. And current assets minus current liabilities, they have given a specific term for that, and that is known as working capital. Working capital means your current assets minus current liabilities. Working capital is a term used for only one purpose, and that is all money belonging to your regular day-to-day business activities. Okay, whatever funds are required are termed as working capital. And on top only we had discussed which are those items which are relating to everyday business activities, current assets and current liabilities only. They are constantly changing every day. There's a specific term to be used, and that is known as working capital. This is how you are going to present your balance sheet in the vertical format: sources of funds and application of funds. Now we will go to the textbook and see how they have presented. It is more or less like this, but a more elaborate information is given there. We will see one by one. So what I want you to do is come to page 346, where the format of the vertical balance sheet is there. You can also look at it on the screen. There you will see Dash Company Limited balance sheet as on. Okay. Particulars and to amount column, of course, that we had also drawn. Top side, sources of funds, that is your liability side, but nowhere you will see the word liability written. But for understanding, okay, I am writing liability. Sources of funds, from where all you have gathered money. One is your owner's funds, own money, okay, in the form of capital. Now here you will see certain new terms because that belongs to a company. And the moment you say company, means the word capital is differentiated into two parts. Capital can be in the form of equity shares and preference shares. This you had studied in the chapter of issue of shares when we were doing that chapter. Okay, one of the initial chapters we had taken while starting this year, standard 12. Okay, issue of shares, that belongs only to a company, share capital. Then below that, all your reserves and surplus is nothing but profits. And profits, how? Your everyday profits, what you have earned, is in profit and loss account, net profit. Okay, but instead of using the word net profit, you write the word profit and loss account. Then you have money which you have collected and kept in general reserve. Okay, money that is used for emergency purpose kept separately aside, but that also is from your profits only. That is general reserve. And securities premium, again, something that you had studied during the chapter of issue of shares. What is securities premium? Any extra money if you have collected, okay, whatever is the value of your share. Let's say your share is of 100 rupees, but you collected 120 rupees for that share. That means that 20 rupees extra which you have collected is known as premium, securities premium. That also is nothing but profit. The moment you have collected extra money, you have made profit, and that profit during issue of shares is known as premium, which you have to write under reserves and surplus only, securities premium. Then you have this less fictitious assets that we will not discuss now. Okay, when the time comes, we will have some more discussion about this fictitious asset. Don't worry about that. If you add up both your capital and your reserves, what you get is your owner's funds. Whatever the businessman has put into the organization, his own money, known as owner's funds. Another name is also known as net worth. Then if you come to part B, borrowed funds, we had discussed any borrowing from somebody else for running your business will come under borrowed funds. Generally, bank loan is there. In a company, they can collect money also through debentures. Okay, that is another form of getting money from the public, not known as capital. Capital is different. That comes only from shares. You will see the word share mentioned there. Okay, that comes under capital. But debentures is another way of borrowing money, not from the bank, but from the public. But what is the general term known as borrowings? You will use the word borrowed funds coming from somewhere else, not from the businessman, not from the owner. Okay, and that's it. That is your entire liability side. Total funds available. This is the balance sheet liability side total. Then you move on to the asset side, which we had said not to use the word asset, use the word application of funds. Where all did you use your funds? Those funds must have been used for purchasing fixed assets, which are going to be there for a long period of time. Land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, vehicle. We have already discussed this. These are fixed assets permanently in your business. Separately show where you have purchased your investments, okay, in shares or bonds or debentures, whatever, where you have invested money, show separately. And then the important part, the new part which you studied today, is working capital. Working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. So if you see that, the broad heading, you will see your current assets. Below that, all current assets which we discussed are there. And then you have below that, less current liabilities minus all those current liabilities which we had discussed. You do that, and finally you will have your total working capital, and balance sheet asset side total is the last item there. Okay, total funds applied or employed, that is your entire balance sheet. Okay, now lot of theory discussion has happened. Okay, it will be very boring for you if I continue to explain more and more. What I want you to do is, we will take a simple question and see actually how to prepare this vertical form of balance sheet. Okay, but up to here, what I want you to see is whether you have understood, or is there any question that you have. Have a look and ask me. I will clear your doubt, and then we move forward to actually preparing the vertical balance sheet. Now, how will you draw? Neatly draw. Vertical format means you require two columns. It is there for reference in your textbook also. It is there on top. You can have a look and draw exactly that, particulars and two amount columns. Now about 10 to 12 lines is sufficient. So draw accordingly and draw neatly. Okay, we are solving that first question there. You write down balance sheet as on. They have given the date in the question, so same way you will write balance sheet as on 31st March 2019. Okay, now only have the question open there. You know that we are starting with the liability side on top. Okay, and liability side is known as sources of funds. So what you will do is write Roman number 1 and write the word sources of funds. Okay, then below that, firstly you have the owner's funds, what the owner has given to the business. You write that as A, owner's funds. And owner's funds has only one thing, remember, and that is the capital that he has provided. Below that you write capital. Now have a look in the question. See the balance sheet liability side. Capital, if you see, is 50,000 right in the inner column. 50,000. Okay. And along with capital, owner's money is also what reserves he has. Okay. So capital, you can write small a for capital. That is one thing. And along with that, there are all profits which has been earned by the businessman, which is known as the reserves and surplus. So below that, write reserves and surplus. And here there are not many reserves. Only one heading is given directly, and that is the reserves. So you can write the word reserve there. Generally, there is a breakup. Okay, there will be profit and loss account, general reserve, reserve fund, any other type where you see the word reserve or fund, that will come under reserves and surplus. So reserve given in the balance sheet 15,000. Okay, you add both of them and put it in the outer column. That is known as owner's funds, or it is also known as net worth. You can write any word, net worth, or write the word owner's funds. Add up and put it in the outer column. 50,000 and 15 totally, that is 65,000. Okay. Then if you look in the question, the balance sheet, there is the next item, 12% loan. You have taken a loan from the bank. That is a borrowing, which will be the next head on the sources of fund side. Right, point number B. Borrowed funds. One is owner's funds and one is borrowed funds. From somewhere else you have taken money. Borrowed funds. And if you see, there is only one item, and that is loan. So below that, right, 12% loan. There is only one item, so directly in the outer column you can write 12% loan is 30,000. And the next item is current liabilities. But remember one thing, current liabilities not to be written on this side. It is to be taken on the asset side. So that's it. There will be only A and B are owner's funds, borrowed funds. That's it. And the liability side is complete. You take the total and call it total funds available. Add up 65 and 30, that is 95,000. Sources of funds, that is the liability side, complete. Now, let's move on to the asset side. Have a look. In the question, firstly, you have fixed assets. Okay. So you write here, Roman number 2, application of funds. Now, where all did you apply these funds? Firstly, purchase of fixed assets. So below that, write 1, fixed assets. There is no breakup of fixed assets separately. They have not given us land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, not given. Directly, fixed asset is given. So take that and put it directly in the outer column. 60,000 is the amount of fixed asset. Okay, if there was detailed information of assets, then we would have taken in the inner column and then total in the outer column. Here, directly added and given to you fixed asset. So outer column 60. The next item on the asset side is investments. So you write number 2, investments. And investment value is 10,000. Again, outer column, 10,000. And then the last item on the asset side, you have current assets. Now, current assets is remaining. And from the liability side, current liabilities is remaining. You have to write one below the other on the same side, and together they are known as working capital. So point number 3, you write down working capital. And how do you show working capital? It is current assets minus current liabilities. So write that. First, current assets amount of current assets given is 55,000, inner column. And below that, one item that was remaining there was current liabilities. You have brought it on the asset side with a minus sign. Current liabilities. Amount is 30,000. One important thing that you have to remember is whenever there is a minus sign, always put it into a bracket. Okay, it avoids confusion also, and it is required to be presented like this. Whenever minus sign is there, put it in a bracket. It will help you even while preparing cash flow statement. There it becomes essential, very important to write negative figures into the bracket. Okay, subtract and put it in the outer column. 55 minus 30, that is 25,000. That is your total working capital. And that's it. This side is also complete. You're going to take the total and write down total funds applied. There it was total funds available, and here total funds applied. Add up and your balance sheet should tally. So 60 and 10, 70, 95,000. Yes. Both sides are equal. And that's it. This is what you have done is converted a horizontal balance sheet into a vertical balance sheet.